All right, so we're going to do some counter arrest scenarios. Basically, what's happening is someone's about to put cuffs on you. They have you put your hands up either against the wall or on your knees or flat on the ground. In the process of cuffing you, what's going to happen is you're going to lure them in. As soon as they have a positive contact, you know that you have positive contact to them too. Okay, so if they're grabbing you, you should be able to reverse that. And from there, your primary objective is to move out of any type of joint lock that you have, immediately move to a weapon that is directly on you, or get behind them and access their weapon systems. So before we even get into, us locking each other out and spinning and doing switches and that type of thing, what I want to do is I want to focus on what do you do when you get behind that guy. Okay, so there are two ways that we focus on that. First off, you need to get past their extremities, so their arms. Their arms are the things that's obviously going to stop you. So there are not a lot of ways to arm drag someone or to move their arms out of the way or to get them to extend themselves. I will do a drill where you're just pushing on the shoulders. Then I'll show you how to use their head to do that. So you can use their jawline and the back of their head to spin them, or you can use their shoulders. So I need somebody up front just for this normal drill. All that's happening is your hands are placed directly on top of their shoulders. You're going to pull and press, and then your other hand is going to go to their lower back. As soon as that happens, whatever arm is wrapped around their neck should grab their trap. Okay? So this is if I want to put in a choke, which is here. If I want to secure his arm from grabbing his gun, this arm would go into the shoulder, and then I would place my head on the inside of his trap here. Okay? This is going to allow me to move his hips out of the way and transition to either side for that gun. I am right-handed. I'm expecting him to be the gun being in that position. But just as a drill, all we're doing is just learning to spin that guy around. Whatever arm is across the chest will stay there. Lower left hand is going to go underneath the hips, and then I'm pressing him down here. This arm goes underneath the shoulder, and this hand's right on top of the other shoulder. If I want to put him on the ground, I have you, okay? If I want to put him on the ground, I'm going to take my right leg, step back, and drop him to the ground here, and that's going to allow me to work him over if I have to, okay? So if I'm going in the opposite direction, I'm pulling here, a lower back press here. If I want to work the choke, I can go under the shoulder, pull, and then in turn, I start working whatever I need to there. The purpose of the lower back is most of your counters involve them having some sort of footing. So whether they try to spin behind, like on a choke, and they spin directly around, whether they try to throw someone, which is basically walking their hips back until it elevates them, all of those techniques, hitting the groin, the extending arm, you need your hips underneath you. You need to be able to generate leverage. So if I take his leverage away, even if I was taller than him, by pushing his hips this way, any movement that I feel is compromising, all I have to do is pull on his shoulders, and he's going to fall down. You'll notice that when I'm doing this, I'm pushing his lower back with my fist. I'm not opening my hand. All I do is I just create that, you'll see this over and over, that same angle as we're shooting, and I'm pushing that right through his lower hips, and I pull back on his head. Okay, so let's grab a partner, let's practice this back and forth, just so that you know what to do when you get behind. Hand placement, so if somebody comes up, places their hand directly on you, or even at a distance, there's a couple ways to get their arm in different directions. So all I want you to do is practice these and then find a way behind them. So I need somebody up front. So basically, any placement that's here, or even if he's directly across, his hand could be on his gun, but any kind of touch. So they're grabbing you, or they're just stopping you in this position. So a couple things, okay? First off, if it's on this side, I just want to make sure that if I press across, it's not hitting my neck. So a lot of times if I'm here, I'm not pushing this in that direction, okay? So if it's on my shoulder, real easy bump, I take my forearm and I just lift this up like I create a shelf for his arm, and that allows me to get directly underneath. okay? So here, if I want to, I can step back and then in turn drive forward. This is a good one if the pressure is going to be lower on your chest so that I'm pushing here and then driving towards that position, okay? If we're here, I can go like that, okay? So all I'm doing is I'm just lifting this directly up, and you'll notice that every single time my other hand is driving towards his gun or wherever his other hand is. So I'm just following that position, and then in turn I start to secure here. We've done a lot of, well, not a lot of work, but we kind of worked on that there. Palms up against the wall, please. Spread your heels. Thank you. From this point, hand grabbing the fingers, starting to roll this in some fashion so that the arm is behind. From that point, other arm, please. They're trying to go here, working cuffing procedure. There's a lot of ways to do that one. Sometimes they grab fingers, sometimes they just joint lock on the wrist, so meaning like when the wrist goes around, they'll try to do some sort of chicken wing in this position. Once again, it doesn't matter. Stuff I'll show you will just counter all of that. But those are your normal positions. Same concept if he's on his knees, hands on top of your head. Yeah, that's you. There's nobody behind you. Okay, from this position, they can squeeze the fingers to lock this out, or they can just start to extend this out and do the same thing. So you'll notice the consistent lock. All they're trying to do is get the arms directly behind. I've always told people if you want to cuff people properly, or at least be as efficient as possible on that, you get them on the ground so it kills their mobility. And it takes away a lot of accidents, right? So if you bump into them or they're not coordinated or whatever the fuck it is, they start falling, you don't misinterpret that as them trying to resist, okay? If they're on the ground, all action should be something that's purposeful, okay? Or it is a response to pain that you're applying to them and they're working towards that, all right? So let's grab partners, practice all of these so that when we do the counters to them, you actually have some sort of a reference. So we'll do the one on the wall first. All that is a switch. So guess I'll just be here. So somebody up. So I'm here. My legs are parted, so I'll have somebody, work the cuffing. You allow them to cuff whatever side they want to, or lead that directly to behind you. Yep. So as that happens, this is going here. It doesn't matter how he locks up my hand, okay? All I'm going to do is wait for him to start reaching for that other hand. As he reaches for that hand and I start going here, I'm going to stretch my own arm out and then rotate towards him. Okay, so it's just a switch. So the reason I grab my fingers is if he's locked my fingers up or he's wrist locked me, you're going to have to get out of that lock. Okay, and so what you do, if he like chicken wings that or locks that in, as he reaches for this, I'm going to grab my own fingers and pull that out. See how that breaks his grip? Then I stretch this across, and then I'm rotating directly towards him. All right, so real simple. All that happens is you're just allowing that person to rotate in. Doesn't matter if that first cuff goes on, because as you're there, if that cuff is hanging from your wrist, just use it as a weapon. So you just roll that up. The way that it hinges, you can create a hook and then take that and drive that through their eye socket or into their mouth, or just, they gave you a weapon. Say thank you. All right, so let's try that out, and we'll kind of move from there. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed that content, we have more videos over here for you to check out. For those of you looking to enhance your knowledge, make sure that you go over to eliteu.com, where you will have early release of YouTube videos and access to exclusive content. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.